Okay, hello everyone. First of all, the caveat to this lecture is I'm doing this from my home. Obviously, we're doing our best to keep everything out of the police station right now. Normally, I would do those there. However, we have to do it from my home today. Forgive me because I got my dumb dogs here. This is Moose, also known as Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest of all samurai. And then we have back here this little wreck of a dog. Uh, we just call him Puppy. He was uh, he came from the little Mary Roberts Pet Adoption Center. Okay, good little dog. All right, so now that we've got all the dog stuff out of the way, I know this is going to be a change for everyone, especially this class, CJUS 466, e-discovery, electronic discovery. It's a very, it could be considered a techie class. I try not to teach it that way. Honestly, I'm not a techie type person. I deal with tech quite a bit. But anyone who knows me knows I prefer low tech more than anything. And there's a reason for that, because when you use low tech, generally you keep out of trouble. People aren't able to access it. Why am I doing these on YouTube? Well, what do you guys know about Zoom? You know, there are folks that are able to hack into Zoom sessions. I think they're finally starting to create some software that's helping prevent that. But anyhow, I prefer low tech. I'm sorry. Okay. So anyhow, we went through our introductory video on this. You guys know generally now how I'm going to do this. There is no like sort of right now type instruction. What that means is our class is on Thursdays from 6 to 9:50. You can watch this video Sunday at 1 p.m. I don't care. I care, I just don't care when you watch it. I just want you to watch it, okay? So that'll help you. I know a lot of you are struggling out there right now. You may have had to go back to work or doing something, changing your schedule, daycare, whatever it may be. But I thought this would be the best and easiest method for you guys to be able to proceed on with your lives through this crisis. So anyhow, let's just get right into the lecture. Electronic evidence. The thing we have to understand about this is basically how would we store data. So when I do a search warrant at a bad guy's house and I'm looking for electronic evidence, what am I looking for? Is it going to be hidden in an envelope? Maybe not, maybe, I don't know. But where do we store electronic evidence? It can be stored on a lot of devices. A computer, obviously, computers store electronic evidence. That's kind of their primary purpose. Phones now are primarily computers. That's what they are. iPads. What about iPods? Do you guys still use those? You could store documents and even videos in cases if your storage is significant enough. There are cloud storage platforms now. So they kind of, in our world, there is an actual device somewhere on the planet Earth that stores the data, but generally this stuff is kind of in cyberspace. Okay. What other sort of devices? Thumb drives, okay, flash drives. If I'm going through a house and I see a thumb drive or a flash drive and I'm trying to procure evidence, I'll probably take those items. CDs, DVDs, some of you may not even use those anymore, but those in fact do store electronic data. How about this? How about your driver's license? How about your credit card or ATM card? Those are in fact data storage devices. There's a magnetic strip on the back of each of these cards that stores data. Now granted, the memory, I guess, or the storage amount, storage capacity is very low on these. However, it can store data. So you want to think about that. Motel keys, hotel keys. In the old days, you had a key. Now you have these darn little cards. In fact, a lot of the crooks now know how to take data from your credit card and put them onto these hotel keys and use them at various locations, primarily gas stations. So anyhow, I want you guys to understand where electronic evidence can be stored. Okay, a battery? Nah, probably not, unless that battery has some capacity to store data. Generally, batteries can't do that. Dilithium crystals? No. Dilithium crystals are from Star Trek Enterprise, which, to my knowledge, none of that technology is available. LED lights? Nah, no, those don't carry any sort of storage capacity. So what we're talking about again is computers, hard drives, external drives, CDs, DVDs, magnetic strips, as what's on your cards, ID cards, credit cards, access cards, your card that you go to enter into your place of work, thumb drives, flash drives, all of these things are where electronic evidence is stored. Okay. One of the other things we often talk about, and it's really just kind of gone away. Uh, we do a lot of stuff by email now, right? So email. Um, we talk about IP addresses. Some people call them internet provider addresses, internet protocol addresses, whatever you want to call it. But it's this particular numeration that basically identifies your specific email address, which isn't necessarily true anymore. They're with proxy servers. Proxy servers are basically central locations, central storage locations, where thousands, 10,000 customers may be using an internet provider, and you may be using the same IP address as 1,000 other people. There's also ways to spoof these and all that. But in the old days, 15, plus 20, maybe even 20 plus years ago, an IP address was a pretty good way to catch bad guys. Not so much anymore. But again, it's a way to at least start your investigation. If you get an IP address, it may help create some sort of path or trail for you to follow. Okay, but we definitely wouldn't call it significant evidence anymore. Okay. With that in mind, since you guys are criminal justice students, would an IP address be considered direct or circumstantial evidence? Direct evidence meaning, oh, it's right there. I know exactly what this is. I've seen it, heard it, smelt it. Okay, and I know this evidence is absolutely consistent with, the device itself. Okay. This is going to be IP addresses now are just circumstantial. I mean, they're a way to kind of maybe get us toward the end of locating the person who may or may not have sent an email, for example. But we definitely can't call it direct evidence anymore. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about data. Uh, Data. I know this seems very simple, but it's not. Data. What is data? Microsoft Word, you guys turn in an essay to me. That Word document is data. If you guys submit a spreadsheet to me on Excel or whatever other format, that is data. Okay? Data is the information itself, the document itself, a PDF. That's data. Okay? Now, what if I open up your Word document, which I do, when you guys go, oh, Professor Money, I sent my essay to you, the day before it was due. I don't know why you didn't receive it. And I'll often say, okay, well, send me your Word document, and I'll take a look at it. Very first thing I do is I hit the properties on the darn thing. And if I saw that it was just updated recently, I'll know that, hey, this thing's questionable. The properties of when the document was created, what time, even the GPS location, where it was created, that is metadata. Metadata is data about the data. Okay? So metadata would be the information about the Word document, information about the spreadsheet. Okay? So we want to understand and be able to differentiate between those two terms. All right. Let's see. I want you guys in your book, okay, and this is going to be something you're going to have to do on your own. Everybody should have the book now. I want you guys to look up the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, okay? The Sarbanes-Oxley Act was something that that is definitely going to be in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Okay, it should be in your, if you look in the appendix of your book, you should see where it's at. Okay, but it was a law created in about 2002. It required organizations to always keep fair and honest accounting. Really, before this, companies could just do what the heck they wanted to do. We talked about Enron. You guys may not have been around during Enron. I was. Enron just kind of did whatever the heck they wanted to, and they told their investors and such, "Oh yeah, Enron, we're doing great. Our shares are worth all sorts of money because we're just making money hands over foot. Look, here are our books." Now those books were not necessarily true and accurate, and investors and such were relying on that information. There was no law at the time that really made that illegal. It was definitely immoral and unethical, but illegal, okay. So in 2002, after basically our all these things started falling apart, and the country suffered greatly financially because of a lot of the shenanigans, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act came in. And what the Sarbanes-Oxley Act has said, every organization needs to keep fair and honest accounting, the health of their, the financial health of their company. Okay, it needs to be true and it needs to be accurate. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Let's talk about chain of evidence, or I guess, yeah, let's just talk about the chain of evidence. This is sometimes something we have to deal with quite a bit in electronic evidence, because people think that electronic evidence, you don't have to follow the same rules. What's the overriding law with this? It's going to be the Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. Okay, and that thing rules all. I mean, there's nothing that we can do to step around it. There are a few exceptions, but they're serious and they're recognized by the courts. Okay, but generally, the path of evidence, or the however you want to call it, the I'm sorry guys, I'm having a brain fade here. The chain of evidence, as it were. The chain of evidence occurs the second you identify that evidence. Okay, I walk into a house in a homicide scene. There's a bloody knife sitting right there on the ground. Okay, I've seen that bloody knife now. I believe it's evidence. The chain of evidence, or the chain of custody of that evidence, starts now. Okay, doesn't start. I go, oh, I see that knife right there on the ground, but I'm really thirsty and I'm going to go to 7-Eleven. I'm going to get a big gulp. Okay, no, you can't do that. Okay, you've wrecked the chain of evidence. That path that evidence is taken is now kind of tainted in a way, unless you find a rookie officer and you go, hey, rookie officer, stand by this bloody knife and stare at it till I come back with my big gulp. Okay, now, yeah, you're better as far as your chain of evidence, chain of custody of that evidence. Okay, but the second I see it, that's where this chain of evidence begins. All the way up. There's my stupid dog. Sorry, I don't know what he's doing. He's weird. Anyhow, the chain of evidence ends, okay, it actually has a couple endings. You could argue that the first ending occurs when that evidence is brought to the court and given to the courts for their review at trial. Okay, but I think it even holds importance beyond that. So the way I always say is, the chain of evidence lasts until the case is dismissed. That means bad guy gets to go home. He's acquitted, or the bad guy is prosecuted and sent to jail, okay, or prison. Now, in that case, I still hold on to the evidence for a while, because there are appeal processes that can go on for years. Eventually, I'll release that evidence. But for this class, we want to say chain of custody, or chain of evidence, starts when that evidence is basically collected or identified to the point where the defendant is either acquitted or the case is just dismissed or disposed. Okay? All right, let's see here. Again, the seizure of primary or secondary evidence in any sort of e-discovery setting, of course, is going to fall under the Fourth Amendment. We have to follow the same rules as any sort of physical evidence, hardcore physical evidence, bloody knives, guns, things like that. Okay. One thing I do like to say, this class is called e-discovery. E-discovery. You guys wrote a paragraph for me on what e-discovery is in your beliefs. Basically, what e-discovery is, it's electronically stored information that I've gathered that I use in any sort of litigation or court case. Okay, that's e-discovery. Otherwise, it's just a hard drive or it's a flash drive sitting on a desk. Okay, e-discovery is when I've gathered that or collected that so that I can use that as evidence either in a civil case or a criminal case. Okay, so again, the definition itself is where I gather electronically stored evidence or information, I should say, to use in litigation or some sort of court setting. Okay, so anyhow, we're going to keep this one fairly short. I am going to give you guys a quiz on this information. So make sure you go back. It's going to be a question response quiz. So you'll have plenty of time. I give you guys the whole week to do this. You can do this anytime during the week as long as it's presented to me via email by the following class. Okay, usually I say 6:30, I believe. But anyhow, thank you guys, and we'll get through this. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys in the next lecture. Thank you.